Good day everyone, welcome to Any 101. Today we've got a very special guest with us all, Helen Zhi Dent. Helen is the National Lead Partner of the China Business Practice for KPMG Australia and also serves as the New South Wales President of ACBC. Welcome Helen on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. So Helen, how's the day going so far?
It's a very interesting time, isn't it? For not just for us at a professional service firm, but for lots of other Australians and other businesses as well.
I understand that you grew up in China and then you started your career in UK and then you came to Australia. So can you share a little bit about your journey on how you began in China and moved global?
Sure. I was born and brought up in a province called Shandong, which is a name mostly unknown to people outside of China, but it's a province with 90 million people. So that's where Confucius was born. So I was born and raised in a very traditional Chinese family. I never made any decisions for myself until I decided to study overseas when I was 23. So before I was 23, my dad, my mom made all the decisions for me. They decided which high school I went, which subject I studied at university, which job I should go for. So the first decision I ever made was to study overseas. And then I moved to the UK around 2001. I was very fortunate. I was doing a part-time job for the China Link on the UK trade and investment. And also I studied to do an MBA course. And after that, I joined KPMG as a junior young professional. And I spent 10 wonderful years in the UK. And after I was engaged with my back then fiancé, he was sent to Australia to set up his bank, to do something with the Australian market. And he loved Sydney and he didn't want to return to London. And it took him over a year and a half to convince me to leave London to come to Australia. But now Australia is home. I'm pleased we moved.
So you came to Australia because of your fiance?
That's right. Yeah. You didn't know anyone in Australia. And when you lived in London, you didn't really hear much about Australia other than flood and bushfires. But only since I came to this country, I realized what a beautiful and lucky country Australia is.
When you first came to Australia, did you feel that you belonged here and were there any concerns around, adapting to the Australian culture and really being a part of the Australian community?
I moved to Australia for love. And I totally underestimated the challenge I could face professionally and socially. Because I thought, from UK to Australia, how much difference could that be? I successfully moved from China to the UK. Now UK to Australia sounds easy. But I was wrong. My first 6 months at least, to extend maybe 1 year, was very difficult for me. Because I moved to this country, I didn't know anyone. I had no friend. I was totally unfamiliar with my role at Australia. And I didn't have any sponsors or no mentors or nobody guided me. And I needed to prove my value to my new, workplace. So it was very challenging. I was actually planning to resign at month 6 because I first came here on a secondment arrangement. So I flew back to the UK. I told my boss in London, you don't need to keep the position for me. I decided not to move back to the UK. But when I came back to Australia, I'm going to resign. He asked me why and all this. But then something happened. I read a book on the way back from London to Australia, and that changed my perspective completely. And I landed back completely with a different new mindset. And that changed my career. And 2 years later, they tapped on my shoulder and put me into a partner pipeline. 3 years later, I became partner.
They obviously recognized your value.
They did afterwards, after my change first, and then they recognized my values.
So you talked about how you faced a few challenges socially and in the workforce. Can you share a little bit about what kind of challenges you were facing?
I guess when I came to Australia, I was completely new. I didn't know much about Australia. I didn't know much about economies, the industries, and I didn't have much client contact. And I was completely new to my team as well. And we're a professional service firm.
Yeah.
Trust is first and foremost. You need to have the trust with your colleagues, with your clients, and with your stakeholders. And that took time to build. And I think for me, I was at the director level already when I was with the UK office. While when I first moved to Australia, I was still in a director mindset, which was wrong. And I mentioned about the book I read on the way here. So I needed to change, which I wasn't aware. So I started to change from inside, and then eventually my actions and my behaviors, I think, influenced my team members, influenced my clients, and things started to turn around. So the first 6 months, I had to say I had a very steep learning curve, largely due to I underestimated the challenges and the change I needed to adapt. But then once I realized that, and the change happened quite quickly, and the results showed pretty quickly as well.
That's fascinating news, Helen. So how long have you been with KPMG Australia now?
I joined 2004, so 22 years now.
Wow, 22 years. Time flies, doesn't it?
Time flies, but not when you enjoy your...
No way you're enjoying.
I think one thing I'm very grateful that I play a role that I really enjoy and I value and I learn every day. I think that's what keeps you going even after 22 years.
I'm hearing that a lot of people, talk about you and how you have a great passion for, researching and understanding and interviewing a lot of young entrepreneurs, especially in the Chinese Australian community. So what came up, what triggered you to come up with that idea of trying to understand this part of the community?
Yes, and as you know, most of the big fours will be first and foremost focused on the large corporates. For KPMG, China practice the same. We started by working with the super big inbound investors from China. All my clients have the name China, their brand. But then around 2018, we realized we can't just rely on inbound Chinese investors to deliver growth for the firm. At the end of the day, growth is a must for us, for our profession. So we needed to diversify our client portfolio. So where? So how do we use our skill set through working with Chinese inbound investors to generate value for other similar kind of clients? So we realized there seemed to be quite a few private, but very large size private businesses with Chinese founder behind. So we wanted to understand this community. First and foremost, we tried to research in Australia. Nobody understands this community at all. And I even consulted my colleagues in China, even our research team in India. Nobody could provide me with any information or any proper papers about this community, what they're doing, what sectors they're in, the size of their businesses. So in the end, based on many years of research partnership with University of Sydney, we decided to do a research ourselves. On one side, we were so stimulated by talking to the successful entrepreneurs with Chinese background. On the other side, there's challenges of how do we analyze the data through talking to 100 entrepreneurs, produce a meaningful thought leadership, and then at the end of the day, we need to generate opportunities for KPMG. That 6 months was busy like a mad, but also I think changed a lot of our focus for what we do at KPMG.
So like a big corporate, such as KPMG, I mean, obviously when you see a business being built up to a certain stage and you guys then realize that there's a great potential behind it and they've got great historical track records, then, people tend to get engaged with these kind of businesses. But with startups or, the younger generation of entrepreneurs, when they're trying to build a business, it probably isn't as aspiring or as full of potential in the very early stages. So it's really about identifying talent and ambition and long-term goals amongst these young entrepreneurs. So, with your experiences with these entrepreneurs, have you learned that many of them actually can achieve success?
Well, this process of researching and working with Chinese migrant entrepreneurs is such an eye-opening experience for me. As I said before we always work with large Chinese corporate clients. But then once you get to know the entrepreneurs, listening to their stories, for all my research, it's all based on 2 hours, one-on-one, very in-depth conversations. We ask them how they came to Australia, what challenges they face when they started their business, how much capital they had when they set up a business, what challenges they faced, what they want to achieve in the next 5 years. The entrepreneurs share with us lots of stories they didn't even share with their close friends. Such a privilege to hear from 300 successful entrepreneurs with Chinese migrant background. What I realized is this is such a unique community that's totally undervalued, understood, and underestimated. They are such an asset to Australia because of their unique cross-cultural experience, knowledge, and network. That's such a unique strength for Australia. We are a migration country.
Yes.
And diversification is a strength of Australia. Well, these entrepreneurs, nobody knows better than those Chinese migrant entrepreneurs in identifying opportunities between Australia and China and other Asian countries. Nobody in Australia knows better than those Chinese entrepreneurs how to sell Australian products and services to the Chinese market. And nobody knows better than those entrepreneurs in what to bring from China that will be welcomed in the Australian market. Their insights and experience and their network are so valuable to Australia.
Is that why you're involved in ACBC, in the Australia-China Business Council, which is the leading organization on bridging Australian businesses into the China market and also attracting investment coming from China. Now, that's a very important role to play. But with the current situation that we have is often Australians, when they hear of the word China, they think about geopolitics. But for Australian businesses, they think about opportunity. So coming from somebody who leads and carries a leadership role in New South Wales for ACBC, what are your thoughts around that?
Well, I'll start by why I got more involved with ACBC. KPMG traditionally always been a big supporter of ACBC. We think it's an important platform. Around 2022, when the previous president of New South Wales wanted to step down, he actually asked me, because I've been a VP for 4 years already. He said, Helen, I'm thinking to retire. Would you be interested to take the New South Wales president role? I followed my first instinct. I said no.
Oh, you said no?
I said no because of the geopolitics.
Because of geopolitics?
Because of the risks. That was the first and foremost on my mind. And I said no to him. And I remember vividly, that was the Easter holiday in 2022. And I knew deep down I had made the wrong decision. So over the Easter weekend, I had more time to think about this. And I called the president who was thinking to step down, and I called the CEO, and I raised my head. Yes, I want to run for the New South Wales president role. The reason I changed my mind is risks and geopolitics was the first thing on my mind. But then very quickly I realized there were also opportunities. We couldn't just stay where we were or stop engaging with China because of the risks and the geopolitics. We need to handle the two topics, balancing them. And as smart business leaders, I think for Australia's benefit, we need to learn a way to navigate between the two, balance between the two topics. That's why I decided to step in. Interestingly, when I was in the process, I consulted 3 of my trusted Chinese friends.
Yep.
2 both advised me not to.
2 to 1?
2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Only one encouraged me to do it. But then I decided to follow my own judgment. So
I think you made a great decision.
I did.
I think you made a great decision because, often there's risks, but there's also opportunities. We need strong leadership, and we need people to maneuver through the risks and handle the risks.
Particularly when the world is so complicated or so full of complexity nowadays.
We all know that China is by far the largest trading partner for Australia, and it really helps with our economy. And like not engaging with such a market is, I think, it's a very unfortunate thing to have. What are your thoughts around the relationship between Australia and China as it stands currently? And are you confident that the relationship will strengthen over time in the next, let's just say, decade?
I think I am cautiously optimistic
Yep.
about the future for our two nations. When I first came to Australia back in 2012, it was booming days. It was Australia sees China purely as an opportunity. But back then, I think Australia actually underestimated the challenges working with China. It's such a huge and different marketplace. Lots of Australian brands tried but failed in conquering the Chinese market. Same for the Chinese investors as well. They felt, wow, Australia is full of opportunities. They also underestimated the challenges of working in Australia. Businesses of both countries now come to a more realistic view about each other. I think we're in a more complex world now. Geopolitics, the challenges both economies are facing, and we are changing. We're changing to a new world order. I firmly believe that. I think both, not just Australia and China, I think many other countries are all evaluating what are the new opportunities and what are the new risks that we need to manage. So Australia is not alone. We are fundamentally complementary to each other.
Yes, we are.
Australia offers lots of the products, services that China needs. And also China offers lots of things like the size of the market and lots of the innovations and lots of other things that Australia also needs, and we can take advantage to benefit our people and our economies as well. It's just no longer as straightforward as it used to be, but that's the reality we're in nowadays. I think it's exciting as well that we are transforming to a new way of working and engaging with China with a full risk awareness.
In Australia, we have probably around 27 million people in our population, and around 5% of them are Chinese Australians or come of a Chinese descent and heritage or background. The contributions that they have made to Australia and to society is very phenomenal. Do you want to share some of your thoughts around what you have seen in terms of the contributions that these people play in Australia?
I think Chinese Australians can play a disproportionately significant role to contribute to Australia. Well, Australia will choose to make Australia home. My son was born here. Australia is home. But we have unique skills, experience, and network and perspectives to benefit Australia. One thing I realized through my field of work, I have many friends who are like me with professional background, working for a large Australian corporate at a medium or senior level. And also through my work researching Chinese migrant entrepreneurs, I also see the unique strength and values they bring to Australia. I think first and foremost, we bring this global mindset to this country.
Global mindset.
Australia is a large country, quite far away from the rest of the world, but we bring very open and global mindset. We all came here either as a student, we had the courage to leave home, to come to study using a second language, and we still have this global mindset. Most of the entrepreneurs I talk to, they all have
Global mindset.
Global mindset. They all have offices in China, in America, in Europe, or they have planned to list in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in the US. This global mindset is so valuable to Australia. And also, I think for Chinese Australia, we also start to realize we also have a responsibility not just to participate in Australian life, but also help to shape, to help Australia make the right decisions at strategically important positions, moment that's important for our nation. We also need to make our contributions.
You are so passionate about this community, and thank you today for all the amazing insights that you've given to our audience on the program. Thanks, Helen.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show.